everyone. Good afternoon. I wanted to share something that happened today that reminded me of how far I've came in life just in the last 180 days. A little background about me. I grew up in Northern California. I was raised by two people who adopted me when I was 9 months old. I grew up in a really abusive household that, I endured mental and emotional and physical abuse at the hands of my parents, from their words and just physically. And I was also a victim of sexual abuse later on as a child from a family member of a friend of my parents. And, my parents didn't know how to share their own emotions, so I didn't learn how to share my emotions. I didn't grow up in a supportive environment, and I really just seemed lost my whole entire life. And at a very young age, I turned to drugs and alcohol. I left home at 15, and then I've been on my own for over half my life, and I got lost along the way. I had my first child at 18, and by the time I was 29, I had 3 children, and I was divorced twice before that and remarried. What I found was fitness to help me really focus on myself and get better, and I found a really strong support network that I'm still part of that helped me help myself. But then I started helping other people, and that's one thing that's called transference. A lot of people either have deep-seated anger or hurt towards other people, and they never really take it out on that person. They take it out on other people, and they use other people in situations to be able to unleash their anger or hatred or sadness that they have. Other people, I think, are like me. I set out to save the world, to save everybody else, to save them from the pain that they were suffering from. And I did that because I was the one who was needing saving. I ended up trying to find my birth parents back in late 2014, and it continued on into early this year. And it was a failed attempt. There was a lot of things, like dead-end roads that I kept hitting, and I never found anything close or anything about myself. And I just became this file of paperwork that showed that I was adopted. It was kind of like I was just planted into this earth, and there was no record of me. And so I already had a loss of identity, and then when that happened, I fell into a deep depression, and I've dealt with depression and anxiety from a very early age. I remember as early as 4 years old wanting to die. And whenever this happened, I ended up being, really withdrawn. I became kind of a recluse. I didn't leave my home, and because I worked full-time in the health and fitness industry from home, I don't have to see people. And I had made such good progress in 2012 and 2013 that whenever all this hit at the end of 2014, and I went from being on top of my game to where I am now, I felt like a failure, and that feeling was all too familiar. I sunk deeper and deeper into depression. It was hard for me to leave my house. My husband grew up in a different atmosphere, but also kind of a similar environment without a lot of emotional support. So he wasn't a lot of emotional support, not because he didn't want to be, but because he wasn't taught how. And he was struggling with his own issues from childhood and adulthood that I think a lot of us have in common. And that made me feel more alone. That triggered a lot of my deep-seated abandonment issues, and I just felt isolated, so I kept withdrawing even more. That led to huge marital problems, which led to us separating in June. And I lost myself even more because I didn't really know where I was going. My goals for the last couple of years were for my family. My stepdaughter is living in another state, doing college classes in a charter school to prepare for her next year of college. My daughters moved in with their father because things were just chaos and just crazy, and I totally understand that, and that was a solid, secure environment for them, so I was fine with that. But it just seemed like everything that I'd been working so hard for was gone. It was falling apart, and I didn't know what to do. And then I was even more depressed, and I started falling back into those suicidal thoughts, and had no self-worth, and it was really hard on me. It got so bad that I couldn't even get out of bed. I wasn't taking care of myself. I wasn't doing the things that I knew were important. Eating healthy, exercising, being around positive people. And it got so bad that I ended up actually voluntarily becoming a patient at Rock Perry Behavioral Health in College Station, Texas, which isn't too far from where I live. And I went in with a totally different attitude, negative. The day before I enrolled, which was on August 18th, I was misdiagnosed as bipolar. And all along I just wanted so bad for somebody to tell me, it's going to be okay. Everything that you're going through is just product of how you were raised, and we're going to help you and you're going to get better. And then when they said that you are bipolar, there's nothing wrong with that. It's a mental illness and people can't help it. But I thought, there's no escape from this pain that I've been feeling my whole entire life. And on August 19th, my alcoholism really got the best of me. I drank way too much, and I ended up taking way too many of my anxiety pills. Not enough to kill myself, but I went from just simply not wanting to live and hoping that I would not wake up one day to actually getting closer to that suicide. And I thought, I don't want to do this. May not want to live, but I don't want to die, and I don't want to leave my family behind. So I actually enrolled as an inpatient, and those first days were rough. And as the days went by, and I was isolated from the rest of the world, isolated from anybody who needed anything from me. I literally didn't have to tie my shoes. I didn't have to open any doors. I didn't even really have to think about what to wear, because you couldn't wear shoes with shoelaces. All the doors were locked, and people had to, let you in and out of each room. You had your meals prepared for you. You were on a set schedule, and you could only bring 3 pairs of clothes. You didn't wear makeup. You couldn't bring a straightener. So you were just there to focus solely on yourself. And, I had this idea of what a mental hospital was like from movies. And let me tell you, I envisioned flickering lights. I envisioned, people in straitjackets screaming down the hallways. It was nothing like that. It was the most positive experience. But I went in with a willingness to change and a desire, a strong, deep-seated desire to change. But I came out on August 25th, and I was so focused on myself. And, that may come across as selfish to other people, but I'm here urging you to put yourself first. I decided right then and there that I wasn't going to go right home and just throw myself back into a routine, because I decided to move back in with my husband and decide to repair what we had, because he had been a patient already for about 3 weeks at that time in the outpatient program, and had been diagnosed with PTSD, which is something that I knew that was undeniable, but it was just finally diagnosed, and he got the treatment, and it really helped, and we were kind of starting from scratch. But I decided not to just jump back in, and that the world would go on without Mindy for a little bit. And I decided to do something for myself. So I went and spent a day in a hotel room in the same town in College Station. I spent a day getting pretty, doing something for myself, because I had stopped doing that. I had stopped taking care of myself. I'd stopped putting makeup on. I'd stopped dressing nicely. And not that those things are equivalent to your self-worth, and not that you have to wear makeup or get your hair done or your nails done to feel pretty. But if that's what makes you feel pretty, or if when you look in the mirror every day and you don't like what you see, and there are certain things that you could do to make yourself feel better about yourself, where you don't face those negative thoughts, then do it. And so for me, I went and I got my eyebrows done, I got my hair done, I got my nails done, I got a massage, I got my nose re-pierced. That's something I've been wanting to do for a long time. I went and had dinner by myself. I stayed in a hotel by myself. It was just peace and quiet. And I promised myself that I would continue to do that at least once a month. Well, I've done a pretty good job of taking care of myself, but I forgot about all those little, times to myself. And so yesterday I got to participate in a free photo shoot from a photographer who does mostly weddings and some little model shoots, but he's trying to broaden his portfolio. And he had been taking pictures of my friend who had actually met through Rock Perry Behavioral Health, and she was telling me that as a makeup artist, she wanted to experiment doing makeup on me. That she asked if I would be willing to do that. I was like, of course, I love to get my makeup done. I suck at putting makeup on myself, even though I love to wear makeup, and I'm a makeup junkie and a hair product junkie. But then she was telling her friend, the photographer, this, and he saw pictures of me, and he's like, she has a great physique. I'd like to shoot her as well. So yesterday I participated in, I think it's called pronounced boudoir, I'm not really sure, photo shoot with her. We did it separately, but we were together the whole time. And I just thought this whole time, I'd been asked several times to do this. I'd been, had offered free sessions before. It was suggested I do it because of how hard I've worked to lose weight, get fit, and be confident. But I never was. And yesterday I was confident. I felt good about myself. It was a little awkward because he was like, look sexy, act sexy. That's not me. I don't think I'm ugly, but there's not a lot of sex appeal, and I don't know the sexy looks or sexy moves. So good thing they were there. They were able to be like, stand like this, pose like that. But as we got on with, with the photo shoot, I felt more comfortable and confident. I decided that I would take today again, and I would go and beautify myself. I got my eyebrows done, and I got my hair done. So on August 25th, the day that I came out from the inpatient program, I went to exactly where I went today, and I got my hair done by the same lady, and got my eyebrows done by the same lady. So we're talking about, I think we're 12 weeks out, 3 months later, and the lady who did my hair, she was like, wow, you look really great. You look, like full of muscle. I see that what you're doing is working. We're friends on Facebook because we built a relationship and a friendship since then via online. Well, then the lady who did my eyebrows, she's like, oh, I remember you. She was like, I remember when you came in and we started talking. And that's why it's so important to talk to people when you're around them, because people will remember you. You may think that you're not somebody who is memorable or that matters, but if you don't talk to people, nobody's going to remember you. And she was asking how I was doing, and I was telling her, she's like, you look really great. And when she was doing my eyebrows, she was like, man, she was like, your skin looks amazing. And it's so nice to hear compliments. And for a long time, because I wasn't built up my whole entire life, hearing compliments felt awkward and I didn't know what to say. But now I know how to take them and not feel like uncomfortable. I know how to give them, and that is really important, is to not downplay when people say nice things about you. I hear that all the time. People praise other people, or give them a compliment about their looks or their outfit or something, and then they make some excuse of why it was, oh, I don't really like that good, or oh, I just do myself together. Don't downplay that. These things are so important. You need to speak very kindly to yourself. But I told her, I was like, I've been taking very good care of myself. She's like, it shows. I was like, I drink about 2 gallons of water a day. That's all I drink is water. I drink my health shake every day. I've been working out, and I'm proud to say, in 10 weeks, Monday will be 10 weeks since I committed to working out. I was like, I have only missed 5 workouts in 10 weeks. That's amazing. And she's like, I can tell that you've lost weight, and I can tell you're doing well. And she's like, those things really matter. And today I was listening to this book on the way to getting my hair done. It's called Get Your Shit Together. It's about unleashing your inner bitch and going on your quest to get your shit togetherness. And that was perfect for me. And they're talking about how exercise and taking care of yourself is so important to getting your shit together, and that making small little steps make a big difference. So I wanted to just share with you that in 3 months, I've totally transformed my life, and it starts with self-care. It doesn't have to all happen overnight. You don't have to all of a sudden start eating healthy and doing all, working out every day and listening to personal development like I do, and getting your hair done, your makeup done. But, small little steps to focus on yourself, because I was out there trying to save the whole world because I wanted to be saved. And then in the quest to try to save everybody else, when I wasn't mentally okay and wasn't ready and had all these issues that still aren't fixed, but I've been going to therapy every week. It's helped. I'm able to help more people, and I'm back on track. I'm helping my team. I'm a better wife, a better mother. I've decided to quit drinking, and I've done a really good job. It's been 2 weeks today since I've had any alcohol, and in the last 4 weeks, I've only drank 3 times. Or no, in 5 weeks, I've only drank 3 times. So those are huge things. I'm really seeing major changes since I've gotten sober. And I was this party girl who was always looking for an excuse to drink. Not because it was fun, because it was my escape. It was because it was my normal. And now I'm leading like 50 some odd people who are wanting to get sober. Like one girl today reported that she is 8 days sober because she's following me. So the thing is, it doesn't matter who you are. You can change the whole course of your life, and you can go from party girl to the person that is the advocate for sobriety. And actually on Thursday, I'm speaking at an event with my husband together about mental illness and about how we've made our comeback and how we've done it, and how we understand where mental illness comes from. So here I went from somebody who was an inpatient in a mental hospital 3 months later to speaking about boosting the awareness of mental illness and ending the stigma of mental illness. So I mean, in 3 months, your whole life can change. But you have to want it to change, and you have to be willing to put in the steps, and you have to be patient. It took a couple little steps here and there, doing it repeatedly, and then adding in a couple more steps and doing them repeatedly. So now that these things are, everyday things, it's like the back of my hand. I know exactly what I want to do. And so I'm urging you that if you see things out there in your life that you want to improve, if I've kept you on this Periscope this whole time, then obviously there's something out there that intrigues you about wanting to change your life. Reach out for help from therapy. Reach out to me. I can help give you steps. If you are looking for something to channel positivity into your life, health and fitness are a great start. Taking care of yourself. You cannot take care of anybody else unless you take care of yourself. If you have a family, you need to have them be as your focus of wanting to take good care of them. But that starts with taking care of yourself. I want to remind you, before I end this Periscope, that you are worth it, that you can do it, and that anything is possible. And if you're out there living with pain, suffering with emotional trauma, and you're just crying out for help from the inside, and you don't feel like anybody's hearing you, or you don't have anyone to talk to, get the help you need. Talk to me, talk to a friend, talk to an unbiased person, look up a therapist in your area, find a mental facility, a health facility in your area that does, most of them will do free assessments to kind of help you figure out what it is. You might get a diagnosis if this is something that you've been doing with your whole entire life. There's no shame in asking for help. There's no shame about talking about this. There are so many people out there who are struggling with the same thing but won't talk about it. If more people started talking about it, the more it would be easier for other people to open up. It would be easier for us to get the help that we need and to live the life that we deserve. You are deserving. So I hope that this message helped you, and I hope you have a wonderful day, and that you find the courage to get whatever help it is you need so that you can live life to its full potential and live an enjoyable, happy life. So anyways, your last reminder is drink a gallon of water a day, work out, and eat good foods, and your skin will be clear.